Greetings, warriors of the wasteland. Today's horror sci-fi class is Armageddon, the end of the world. Remember to stay safe, bring your weapons, your medieval weaponry, your high magazine guns, and of course, your Costco thing of toilet paper. Because this is the end of the world. Class number 4. Number 4, the end of the world. Okay, put on my glasses and take off this helmet because it makes my head hot. Don't want my head to be hot. Teacher's assistant Zilla of the wasteland. Say hello, Zilla. You like this? Ooh, you bad. Ah. Ah. Demon cat. The end of the world. The collapse of society. Ragnarok, Judgment Day, the end, Armageddon, or the class when I finally get you guys to understand what a metaphor and analogies are by associating a film with the crazy stuff that's going on in real life. Never thought it'd be real, would you? Why are we fascinated by apocalyptic stories? Is it the fantasy of remaking society the way we see fit? Getting rid of those people that you don't like? And finally remaking the world in your own vision? It's a pretty American thing to think. Finally getting rid of those forces that you feel are at fault and replacing them with your own ideology. Yeah, let's get rid of those guys. We'll just kill them all, and then I'll be in charge. Not so interesting when you have to deal with it yourself, is it? Does it feed on the doomsday prepper ideology of the needs of the individual versus the needs of the group? People who just think of themselves. Grab every, it's all about you surviving. Screw everybody else. But you can't do that because we live in a collective society. We all work off each other. Our food comes from somebody else. How many of you people hunt? How many of you people know how to bake bread? How to fix things? The people who can get things done are the people who survive. It feeds on that doomsday prepper thing. Where the needs of the individual exceed the needs of the group. When in truth, as we're seeing now, we need the group. You need the other people. Because that's what you got to deal with. Somebody else cooks your food. Somebody else takes care of you when you're sick. Somebody else fixes your car. Somebody else fixes things. You need other people. But we have this thought of just being the last man on earth. I got my gun, my case of beans, and Costco 60-pack of toilet paper. I can survive this and screw everybody else. See? Analogies. A lot of these films feed into that male, macho, tough guy American aesthetic. Cars, guts, and guns will get you out of anything. We all know somebody like that. That might be you. And these stories kind of show you what could happen. I think sometimes it's a primal need to use your survival skills. To be the cave person that exists somewhere in your head. Deep in your animal brain. It's like why you go on roller coasters and stuff like that. It's because in a civilized society, you don't get to do that stuff. Perhaps you want to fantasize that you are smart and tough and you do what needs to be done in a tight situation. As Americans, we have it pretty easy. And this kind of fiction lets us work through and prepare such scenarios. Are having fake causes for emergencies something that prepares us for the real thing? In my life, I've lived through the blackout of 77, 9/11, terrorists, New York public school, riots. I was in 3 riots. Chased down the street. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed. I've been through Hurricane Sandy. Donald Trump, when he was in New York, and now the coronavirus. Been through a lot of stuff. You want to kill me? Get in friggin' line. Yeah. But all these things get mirrored in movies. When you look at something like Cloverfield, that's 9/11 with a giant monster to kind of give you a cathartic version. It makes the monster something that's tangible. But if you look at the scenes from Cloverfield, they look just like 9/11. There's tons of disaster movies, pandemic movies. These things can be as informative as entertaining. Sometimes they're a rallying cry to say, hey, look, this is what can happen. When you see the movie Pandemic, they're saying, hey, this can happen. And, well, it's happening. I know from zombie movies, I've been prepared for emergencies. My whole house is zombie-proofed. And I know what to do in these emergencies. Number one, do cardio. Stay limber in case you have to run. Learn to defend yourself. Maybe learn how to fly a helicopter, have a really good car. Be aware of your surroundings. Food, water, shelter. Those three things. Take care of your teeth. No dentists in an apocalypse. I always think about that. Well, you got to make sure you get a toothache. Who are you going to go to? Don't panic. If you notice in all these movies, the people who panic are the ones who, they get it. Don't panic. And the people, stay away from people who panic. Because they drag you down too. They pull you right down with the water. Down in the water. Down in the water. Down in the water. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being in a group? Think about that one. Are you better off surviving on your own? Or is it good to have other people to fight with you? And will you be lonely? Where's your food going to come from? Large groups of scared... Oh, this is my big one. Large groups of scared, stupid people are dangerous. Mob mentality and riots. That goes back to when I was in a riot 3 times. Scary stuff. You don't want to be around people in a riot. Lots of these scenarios harken back to the Dark Ages. People held up in their castles and moat between them and the outsiders. You know, that kind of mentality. Wait, where's my thing? Medieval weaponry. You don't have to reload an axe. I have this by my front door. Secret word this week, doomsday. If you've looked at some of the stuff I put up on the Facebook page, there's this study where scientists scanned people's brains while watching horror movies. And it didn't light up the parts of the brain so much that were associated with fear, but the parts that do problem solving. That's interesting. Parts of the human brain that are left over from caveman days when we were worried about getting eaten by an animal, those get lit up. You know, oh, that's the part that's being attacked by another tribe or fighting to get our, next meal. That's the stuff that lights up in your brain when you're watching a horror movie. And that's perfect for apocalyptic stuff because you're trying to think out, oh, what should I do if, the apocalypse happens? What am I going to do to prepare? Now, if those kind of brain scans is not an analogy for us, I don't know what is. Running out to the local Costco and grabbing up all the toilet paper and cans of tuna. It's what you do. It's a natural response. Like I said before, some apocalyptic films are a rallying call to real problems in our own making. We do it to ourselves. War, pollution, global warming, nuclear power. The modern world has thought up thousands of ways to kill ourselves off. We are dumb. And even if you're not dumb and you're seeing these things happen, you're saying, please stop. That train doesn't stop. You could yell all you want. Check out HBO's series Chernobyl. It's about a real nuclear accident that almost killed everybody in Europe and killed thousands in the USSR. And when you watch that, it's a bunch of people saying, this is a bad thing. Don't do this. And people in charge just, they want their money, they want their stuff, and they just keep doing it until... Right now there's a bomb factory making bombs to kill people. Maybe it'll be you next. Who knows? We didn't prepare for this. The film's Contagion in 2011, an outbreak from 1995 are exactly what we're going through today. If the reason we watch films is to learn about ourselves, these are the films that we should have learned from. That's why you watch movies, I feel. Aside to be entertained, that's why you study films, is to go, hey, this is inspiring to me. I'm going to go out and do something. I'm going to protest. The other film that I think really nailed what's happened is Idiocracy. It's a film by Mike Judge, the maker of King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead, where the world is taken over by stupid people. Another scary apocalyptic thing in films is, what if the situation has no way out? A meteor, natural disasters, man-made environmental disasters, atomic war, a million things floating around in space could kill us. Boom. Space germs or regular germs. These are stories of a morality play, talking not so much about how you die, but how you live. What you do with that time. Okay, got a nice list of apocalyptic horror movies. Gonna pick out some nice ones here. 12 Monkeys, that's got apocalypse and time travel. And Bruce Willis. And monkeys. There's Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. John Carpenter. Snake Plissken. One of my favorites. Of the Planet of the Apes series, I suggest the old ones. I like the new ones too. Any of them are great. I love that idea. Got a friend's band called Reign of Zeus. They are a Planet of the Apes themed band. Mad Max. Oi. All the Mad Maxes are great. There are 3 movies based on the book I Am Legend. Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, which is the closest to the book because they're vampires. It's kind of like Dracula in reverse. I Am Legend with The Fresh Prince, and The Omega Man with Charlton Heston, the guy who used to run, the NRA. Soylent Green, I won't tell you what the ending of that is. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Oh, Hell Comes to Frogtown. Dave the Triffids, if you could find that one. Dr. Strangelove. Strangelove is a Stanley Kubrick film, which is amazing. Really gets nuclear war down. It's a comedy. Terminator. Night of the Comet. I'll suggest that for you guys because it's very mirroring what's going on. It's a comet kills off all the adults and only teenagers are alive. In LA. Very 80s. Children of Men. The Signal. Oh, there's a movie called The Signal. Not the Lawrence Fishburne film, but it's an electronic signal that makes everybody go mad and psychotic and kill each other. Really creepy film. Real head case thing. The Road is dark as hell. You go with The Matrix, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Zardoz. Zardoz is a very trippy 70s one. If you want to see a giant stone head that vomits guns. Logan's Run is another one about the young being the only ones alive. When you turn 30, they kill you. Wall-E is a great film. Rock and Roll Samurai, Death Race 2000. Ooh. Anyway, I'm just naming things. This week's classwork. Put the secret word at the heading of your email. Copy and paste the following questions into a document and answer in a short paragraph. Use examples of the film, like we've been doing. Send to damage@fdu.edu, and the due date is April 13th. Put online class number 4 so I know which one it is. So your questions are: how did the actions of the person or persons in the film help or hurt their chance of survival? Number 2, does the apocalyptic situation in the film reflect a real-life situation in the world today? It's not funny. 3, what situation in the film would make you change your way of thinking or how you do things in real life? Once again, use examples from the film to back up what your statement is. Once again, in our own happy little, hopefully not apocalypse, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially stay away from people, and guys, really, pay attention and take care.